All right, shalom. And first, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the creator of heaven and earth and his only begotten Son. And just based on some occurrences and things, I just, um, you know, felt as though I was sharing my thoughts biblically as far as um, should we in this time be concerned about pleasing people as far as the Most High is concerned and what He wants you to do? Should you be concerned with pleasing people or the Most High? Now, of course, spiritual people we know, but just based on once again some things that happened, I thought that maybe I would speak about it biblically. Um, Now is really based on some things that have recently happened. Um, I lost another good childhood friend to cancer, and I've already previously made a video about the plagues and things going on, and based on another, some other things happening, just how people when you're aware of the truth and things like that, so concerned about pleasing people, and it's easier said than done, definitely easier said than done, especially when it comes to family. And that is, once again, why I felt as though biblically I would share my thoughts about pleasing people, considering the time. Now I often go to Matthew 24, and the disciples asked the Messiah, what shall be the sign of thy coming, and a sign of the end of the world. When you read in verse 24 and 3, I'm sorry, chapter 24, verse 3. And then, he goes into, the wars, the rumors of wars, pestilences. And so I've already, made a video about, once again, about the plagues and things. But, but the main thing is, some things dealing as far as with family is concerned. And that is all not always easy. But, I'm going to go into some scriptures on, just, this is why the Messiah says, let's first start with Matthew chapter 10. And um, a lot of times, especially, always everybody's situation is different, but this is a trial. This is the Most High is definitely, going to to try you, as we read in Peter. Why thinking not strange of the fiery trial, concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you. So let's go to, and as we'll get these. We're gonna go through a few scriptures. So this is Matthew chapter 10, and this is why the Most High says this, because as I've gone into before in Matthew, I think it was 13 before in another one of my videos, I talked about, their eyes they have closed. And then once again, other videos that I've talked about, when persecution comes, usually it comes from the people closest to you, okay, and your own people, and because it's about what they are lusting after, and what is in their heart. That's why the scriptures clearly tell you in Hebrews about this is the word is a sword, and it determines the intent of people, the true intent of their heart. Also, as we read in Luke chapter 1, that we understand that our Messiah, our King, our power, He is of the living word. Okay, and what did He tell you? This child is set for the rise and fall of the people. And let me get that right quick first. Okay, and so this is Simon, the um, righteous, devout man that was Simeon. that was speaking to Mary and Joseph concerning the Messiah when he was, a baby and he was brought to the temple as the custom of Israel is to do, to bring him and dedicate him to the Lord, okay, to the Most High. All right, but this is Luke chapter 1 verse 34. And Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary his mother, Behold, this child is set for the fall and rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken against. Yea, a sword, verse 35, yea, a sword shall pierce through thine own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. Okay, and then we're just going to right quick go to Hebrews 4 and 12, because it's very important to understand. And this is why I'm going to tie it right into Matthew that I'm getting ready to go to, but this is very important to understand this. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing sunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Okay, and so, that's just very clear. Okay, so we're going to go to Matthew. We're going to tie that into how that totally pertains to what we're going to in Matthew 10 and verse I really want to go 32. I'll get verse 32 probably, a little later, but um, you know, this is verse 34. This is Matthew 10 and 34. Think not, this is the Messiah figure. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Okay, and we just read in Hebrews, all right, about that sword. Okay, we just read in Luke about who he is and what he was sent to do. We know that he was sent to do the will of the Father. And as I've spoken on before, it was the way everything played out. He did not. No one took his life from him, okay? He laid it down as he tells you in John chapter 10. All right. But once again, that whole situation was a discerning of the hearts and the thoughts and the intents of many in Israel. Okay. And but let's continue. All right. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Okay, and we go and let's just keep going. Okay, 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. All right, and we could go on. I mean, I really want to go on, but that really did touch on the point that I wanted to get to, because everybody isn't, as we've gone into before. That's where the talking about your enemies, when it tells you in it's Luke, okay, precept to this, and Mark, I believe, but I'm pretty sure it's Luke. Yeah, but it's saying that it's your enemies. When it's you're supposed to love your enemies, these are exactly precisely the enemies that the scripture is talking about, because everyone, he calls you and ordains you, but and to go and bring forth fruit, but everyone is not going to accept it, and everyone is not willing to change. And that's where the persecution, as we said before, where the persecution comes in. And a perfect precept to go into about this, what I'm talking about, is John. I believe it's around chapter 14. We can get it right quick. Exactly. Yes, John chapter 14 and verse 18. Okay, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. And that goes into what I was speaking of about in I believe it is here in 14 and 15, 16. 15. Okay, so I'm sorry. Actually, we're reading in John chapter 15. All right, but yeah, verse 16. That you have we have not chosen him; he's chosen us. So now, as we're going, as we were reading, okay, therefore, because but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. All right, they don't fool with you like that, and that's something else that I talked about before, especially when you're reading the scriptures, and when it's usually when it's a lot of times speaking of hate or hated, they don't fool with you like that. They're not for you. You know what I mean? You know, they don't deal with you like that. Like that love isn't there. Like, you know, for example, perfect example is like with your family and things and friends and your own people. Like you notice how certain people have certain spirit about them and they can hang real tight and things like that. So it's a spiritual thing. But when the world doesn't fool with you like that, it's because he has and because he's called you out of the world. You have a certain spirit on you that is contrary to the world, and we're going to go into I remember this is verse 20. All right. So no, at 19. But I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. Verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you: the servant is not greater than the Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will persecute you. They will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hateth me hateth my Father also. So understand that, when, especially when you're dealing with Israel, okay, they are very stiff necked, rebellious people. It's very, you know what I mean? So when you're coming and you're trying to tell them this is this is sin, this is not according to when they think they know, especially as I've talked about before about the mother-in-laws, especially a lot of times, but even still not just, but a lot of mainly is a lot, but when you're trying to deal with especially older Israel and pride, they feel as though they know something. They come up in tradition and they in the church and never considered that we've been captives here, that we possibly could have been deceived, which that is indeed the case. But pride plays a lot in that, and the rebellious nature of Israel anyway. And so, if you had not come, we are coming in the name of our master. He's called us, okay, and saying that this is sin. This is not according to the word. Okay, then they don't fool with that. They don't like that because now, once again, as I said before, you do have a choice. So you can't say now that you weren't told, you don't know, and it's not something that you consider and can research and study the scriptures and see clearly. You know what I mean? A lot of things. So then they become your enemy, as I've spoken on before. Then that's when persecution comes. And so when you're dealing with persecution, and a lot of times, a lot of people, especially given certain situations with family, find it very difficult to stand up to family concerning the truth. But this is why he says, he that loveth mother or father more than me is not worthy of me. All right. And if you take not your cross and deal with it, with all the persecutions that come, you're not worthy of him. And that's just what it is. And so, I'm going to go into, so let's go to something else. Okay. Okay. And so just to, just to follow up on what we're saying about, how you're, you know, and I'm gonna go back to Matthew. I'm gonna go back to Matthew chapter 10, and reiterate, expound on these with precept. Okay, but so this is Matthew chapter 22 and verse. We'll start at 15. Okay. Well, actually, all right. 14. I'll start at 14 because that's okay. For many are called, but few are chosen. Verse 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might take him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true and teachest the way of God in truth. neither carest thou for any man. Okay, and then they ask him about, about the money, but the point that I wanted to get to was that they knew clearly that he did not care about what men thought. Okay, he spoke the truth. Our Messiah was the truth. Okay, period. And this is the truth. And so the point being, though, that that's why they were, trying to tempt him. But you see clearly that they were fully aware that he did not care. Okay, he was about the truth, about the Most High. Okay, and that's how we're supposed to be. Once again, as we read in John, the servant is not greater than our master. We're not greater than our Lord. So that is, when you're doing that, once that's where the persecution comes in, and it's gonna come, and it's gonna come especially from your own and from family. And but if you love them more than him, then you're not worthy of him. Okay, you're supposed to stand for him and stand for the truth regardless. Okay, and I want to go to chapter 10. All right, back to chapter 10. And all right, chapter 10, verse uh um 31. Okay, fear ye not, therefore, ye are of more value than many sparrows. 32. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. 33. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. And so all that ties into, it's just very important. Like, that's just so key. Okay, we're not supposed to be, worried about what other people think. Okay, we're supposed to be worried about pleasing the Most High. And as you go in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, that is the whole duty of man. Okay, we're supposed to be concerned about pleasing the Most High, fearing Him, and keeping His commandments. Okay, because woe to the man that put their trust in man. And I'm gonna go to that, but you know that just was just so important to understand that you know if you are afraid to confess him and are about the thoughts of what people are going to think, all right, and cares for men, as you see with the Messiah, that it was known that he didn't care. He cared about what the Father sent him to do and the truth, and he was for the Most High. Okay, and um, you know, that if you aren't that way and you don't have that mindset, then you are going to care about what people say, and then you're going to deny him before men. When you people, we talking about people that know and understand clearly what he's saying and what it's about, but because they're concerned about what other people think and so pressed for a certain type of affection from other people, you would belittle yourself and forget about what you understand about scripture. um and it's just not worth that. No one is. No one is. I don't care who it is, just as he say, whether it's mother, father, whoever. All right, no man. Okay. um okay. And so I want to go, I wanted to jump to verse 27, because this also is very important. Okay. Yeah, it is just so. All right, I want to go to 26, but yeah, we can go to 26. All right, Matthew 10 and 26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. Okay, period. You know what I mean? A lot of times people are gonna, just as they did the Messiah, they're gonna slander, and just as we're gonna go to this too in Matthew chapter 5. They're gonna but let's read this though. So I'll go to 26 again. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. Okay, all right, and so don't be ashamed. You know what I mean? Whatsoever of our God, because He's righteous and true, and then as we talked about, I talked about many times, the flood that's been cast out. Okay, so there's a lot of lies and deceit and deception. And that's that flood that the serpent, the devil, has cast out as far as doctrines and things, to carry Israel away with the flood in their state of captivity. Okay. Period. In the whole world, as I tell you in Revelation 12, he's deceived the whole world. So therefore, as we're telling you here, the Messiah is telling you, the word is telling you, okay, there's nothing hid that's not going to be revealed. Don't be ashamed of the truth because it's going to come out regardless. So don't be fearing, okay? You know what I mean? And what I want to go to right quick before I go to something else that I want to get in the next verse. But let's go to chapter 5 right quick. Okay, and so also some things that are going to happen, just like it happened when we read in Acts, okay, and in the scriptures, with the Messiah when he was crucified, how they came and bared false witness, okay, and they bared false witness on the disciples, the apostles, you know what I mean? But you know, nothing that is not true will not be hid. So what we just read, nothing that's true will be hid. Truth will be revealed regardless. So people are going to slander and say things about you as well that aren't true just to make you look bad. Because not because of you, but because of the word that you're speaking. So if they can, it's kind of like shoot the messenger, as people say, if I can defame you, then people won't want to hear you. They won't want to hear what you're saying because I'm going to make you look a certain kind of way so that people won't listen. And something that I was looking at with Dave Chappelle, this is go up, but he was saying something about when there's some interview, not to go into carnal things, but the point about it was very true. When he said, you know what I mean? They're trying to say that I'm crazy, this, that, and the third. They were saying that he was, trying to make him appear that way. And he was saying that happens with, people in that world of the celebrity world and whatnot, because when they do get sick of, I guess, the things that take place, and then they try to say certain things, then they're defamed. It's what he was saying. So that people won't listen to them and give credibility to what they're saying. And so it's pretty much, it's the same thing when it comes to, the truth. We're talking about the truth, whatever venue of it or category you're speaking of it, that's a whole nother world day about, but the point that I'm making about the truth is that when people don't want to change and when people don't have intentions of changing, that's when persecution comes. And as we're reading, they, what the Messiah said, about the truth being real, there are going to be slanders and things, just as we said that they did. They bear false witness on him and the disciples as well. Okay. Because people don't want to accept truth. So if they can defame you and make you look bad, then people won't hear what you're saying. But once again, wisdom is justified of her children. So regardless of who that mess, just like the Messiah said, they say a gluttonous man and a wine bibber, but wisdom is justified of her children. It doesn't matter who it is bringing that truth out, that wisdom out. A child of wisdom is going to hear it, okay, and they're going to know, all right, that's some wisdom right there. Let me listen. Let me hearken to that. All right. So this is Matthew chapter 5. Blessed are ye. Well, Matthew chapter 5, verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. So, that is going to happen. Okay. And this is verse 12. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Okay, and then it goes into this is also very important, so I may finish this out. But verse 13: Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Okay? And so that is just 100%. That is so 100. So you shouldn't be concerned about pleasing people and putting your light out, hiding your light. Okay? No, let it shine. No, proclaim that truth. upon the housetop, as he says. Don't be ashamed of him, so that he confesses you to his father in that day. You know what I mean? So, no one is worth that. No one. Okay? And that's what you have to be. For many are called, but few are chosen. So if you called and you are chosen, you're gonna understand that nobody is worth that. All right? Nobody should be more, their thoughts of you more important than your salvation and your crown. All right, and being that pillar in the house of his God. Correct? All right. All right, this is Matthew 10 and 28. So we're talking about, then, don't fear, the thoughts of men. And then we could also go into Ezekiel, okay? You know, don't, we might get that too, but this is 10 and 28. Matthew 10 and 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. All right, and I think I want to go to Luke, because Luke kind of really brings that. Yes, okay, this is Luke 12 and 4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. Verse 5. But I will forewarn you, whom you shall fear. Fear him which after he hath killed have power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. Okay? So, I'm gonna go to Jeremiah. Actually, let me go to Ezekiel. So don't be, Israel is rebellious, You don't be concerned about their looks, you know what I mean? Because they're gonna give them. All right. Once again, they're a rebellious house and they're very proud. But don't be ashamed once again of the truth. All right, because it's the truth, and nothing that's hid there's nothing. The truth is not gonna be hid, as we've already brought out. All right. Um, this is let's see. This is very important, because this is what we need to be doing. All right. This is verse. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, and I could start at. I'll start at. I'll start at verse 5. All right, for thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely, had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But, verse 7, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard hearted. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. 9. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. Okay? And that's what it is. Okay? Um, Verse 11. I'm gonna just jump to well, I'll go to 10. Okay, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears, and go, get thee to them of the captivity, unto thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear, or whether they will forbear. 12. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice, a great rushing, saying, Blessed be the glory of the Lord from his place. And I could to go through, but I just want to jump to 18, just for the sake of time. Actually, well, I'll go to 16. And it came to pass at the end of 7 days, at the word of the Lord, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. 18. When I say unto the wicked, Thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Okay, and that's very important. If anything else, that is one of the most things to important things to remember, that you were sent to do that. When you understand and you're called, as he says, he called you and ordained you to go and bring forth fruit. And once you do that, understand that you don't be ashamed, don't be afraid. And then when you read some of the analogies that he's comparing, you know, that your head is going to be harder than flint, because that's what you're up against when you're dealing with the hard-headed, stiff-necked, rebellious house of Israel. Okay, it is indeed that serious. They are, it's just, and so, but and something that kind of, moves my heart at this time when I'm speaking on these things here. I am not the judge. Well, of course there are spiritual judges, but I'm far as condemning, and all of the issues of death belong to the Most High. And as I said, I lost, um, a very good childhood friend, um, to cancer. But as I mentioned in my previous video, the plagues. Okay, I did give scripture, and as I said, um, you know, there was very rebellious response. So, that kind of touches me a little bit as I read that today. But it's just so important to not be ashamed of the word is the point that I want to get to. And I'm just gonna go to Jeremiah. I'm gonna try to go through this. I don't want to drag it out. But this is Jeremiah 17, and is this the time to be trying to be concerned about what other people think when it comes to standing for the truth, and bringing that, when the Most High, you have understanding. Okay, it's just, Jeremiah. We could go through verse 1 on through where I want to start at, but because of our forefathers, because of our people's rebellion and disregard for the law, that is why we're in the conditions that we're in today. That is why we've been overcome, and a lot of doctrines have been flooded upon us, and things like that. Because of our rejection for what was straightforward given to us, along with the consequences for not doing and keeping the law. Okay. But I'm going to go to verse 5. Jeremiah 17:5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabited. Verse 7. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is. Verse 8. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. All right. So you're going to be a fruitful tree that's rooted. You're going to be well nourished and green. You know what I mean? And when you trust in the Lord, okay. And so don't put your trust in man and be worried about man can't save you. All right. So that's very, very, very important to understand. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Romans right quick, and then I think I'm just gonna to end it there with Mark. I believe I think I pretty much I had a lot of scriptures here, but I think pretty much the point was you know um brought out, but this is Romans chapter 12. Okay, and this is the thing, man can't save you. So don't be trying to conform, and no, it is a blessed thing to be peaceable with all men, okay? But when it comes to with doing what the Most High says, which He isn't going to say anything that is harmful to anyone, all right, other than someone that in rebellion, and being a reprobate. All right, it's for your own good, as I like to go to all the time, Deuteronomy. All right, it's for your own good. So, once again, and like I always say, I had a grandmother always used to always say this because this is so true. It's no harm in the truth that anyone doesn't deserve. Period. Like that's just the realest statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this is Romans 12, okay? 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Okay. Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, that acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. So, a lot of times, and I like to go into Proverbs 2, verse 3 and 31. Okay, envy not the oppressor and choose none of their ways. So don't be conformed to this world and it's what I mean, and be going along with that, as if it isn't righteous. You know what I mean? So don't conform, okay, and just but you have but present yourself a living sacrifice, your body a living sacrifice, meaning when we go, that's a perfect, that's a really good precept, okay. As far as in Matthew, what we read, I actually didn't read that, but it is in Matthew chapter 10. About he that loses his life shall find it, because when you find the Most High, you this is just telling you this the same thing right here. When you present your body as a living sacrifice, it means you pretty much become dead to this world. You're not doing the same things that the world is. You're here, but you're not participating on those pagan days anymore. You're not that old man is crucified with Christ, as we read. I believe it's still in Romans, or it might be Hebrews. Yeah. So you are a living sacrifice now. Now you're a new creature. You're new. That old man is gone. It's just gone. It's done. It's gone. It's dead. They're dead. Okay, just to tell you're dead. That old man is dead. You're renewed in the spirit of the Messiah. Okay, and it's such a beautiful thing that he did for us and gave us grace, okay, so that we learn to do well and are able, to try to come together under him, you know what I mean, before the decree go forth. But it's such a beautiful thing, like it's just, but yeah, this is a really good precept. Okay, yeah, so I mean, I pretty much, I did have a whole, a few things, a lot that I was thinking of, but I think it pretty much, the point was just pretty clear, don't conform to this world. Don't be trying to please people, when it comes to going against the Most High and you're fully aware of the truth. All right, that, kind of, is like, and taking grace for granted, as you read in Hebrews chapter 10. Okay, that is a very sore judgment. Okay, if you account the blood of our Messiah as a light thing, okay, what he did for us. And also, um, yeah, so, and you just, you don't want to, you know what I mean, like, and trying to please people and care more so about what their thoughts of you are and things like that, versus what it is that you're supposed to be doing, as far as the Most High commands, pretty much. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to Mark chapter 1 and 15, and I'm gonna end it, because I think that the point was pretty much made. Like, people pleasing is out. As far as when if being ashamed of the Most High. But yes, I also was gonna touch on what in Peter. When it says about it having tasted of this truth and then turn back into the world. All right, that's just, you don't want that. All right, I may get that first right quick. Okay, so this is Second Peter chapter 2, verse 20. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Yeshua HaMashiach, or as it says here, Jesus Christ, they are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. But is happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is returned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. And I think, is that Isaiah? I think that is. Um, I'm I'm not quite sure, but but you see the point that analogy of it. It is better for you to not have ever even tasted of the goodness of the truth than to know it and then turn back into the pollutions of the world. And once again, the Most High is the he's the one that sets out that condemnation, that judgment, that final judgment. But you just don't want to do that. It just doesn't even make sense. There's nothing in the world for especially once you understand all the madness and the folly and how it's totally contrary to the word, and it's you know. But so now I want to I'm just gonna go to Mark um chapter 1 and verse 15. Um, and it says, and okay, I was, well, yeah, I'll start at 15. And saying, the time is fulfilled, and the kingdom of God is at hand. Repent ye and believe the gospel. And that's pretty much, but tying into what we just read at Peter. Once you repent and you believe the gospel and you taste that's the sweetness of the truth, and you turn, and you're still out here trying to please people, that just, you know, so hopefully, the point was understood, and hopefully that I bless someone, especially when you're talking about dealing with family and the persecutions that you deal with. I've you touched on a lot of things in other videos, about cleaving to the Lord in these times, because when you do stand up, you do make yourself a prayer. And actually, I think I do want to end with Psalms. I do. I think, yeah. Um, because at some point, this was the Most High saying here. This is Psalms 94, and I'll start at 14. This is some encouragement, okay? For the Lord will not cast off His people, neither will He forsake His inheritance. So He's not going to forsake you. That's why He's telling you, don't fear. All right, do what you know is right. Do what He commands you to do. Don't fear. He's not going to forsake us. But what I want to get to, okay? Um, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Okay? And you know, that's it right there. Okay? And so, and when you're conforming and trying to please people, there's no way you can do that. What we just read here. And so with that, hopefully, someone was blessed, and I'm going to say shalom.